Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're excited for today's users conference. I know I am. So before I start my presentation, can I have a show of hands of how many of you have used or are currently using ArcGIS Pro? Anyone? Okay, I can see that some people over there have used ArcGIS Pro before. So, and I'm guessing the rest of you have not. So, but that's okay. I'm here. So, ladies and gentlemen, to start, I will list down some topics, the topics I'll be presenting today. First of all, what is ArcGIS Pro? Number 2, why use ArcGIS Pro? I will show you some demos, and finally, before I end my presentation, I will give you some points that I want you to take back from my presentation. Okay, as the title states, ArcGIS Pro is the future of desktop GIS. ArcGIS, it is a connected desktop that is tightly integrated with the WebGIS, meaning that the 2D and 3D maps that you create in Pro can easily be shared as web maps or web scenes into ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprise. In addition, the latest release of ArcGIS Pro, version 2.0, brings a ton of new and highly requested features, making it the go-to app for desktop GIS. Now, the big question. Is ArcMap going away? Do I have to switch to ArcGIS Pro immediately? Ladies and gentlemen, don't worry, ArcMap is not going away anytime soon. Esri, we will still continue to support ArcMap for many years to come. However, I must inform that eventually ArcGIS Pro is going to replace ArcMap. So now, why you should use ArcGIS Pro? Number 1, it's free. ArcGIS Pro is included with the ArcGIS Desktop product, meaning that if you already have ArcGIS for desktop and are current on maintenance, you can have access to Pro and can download it for your My Esri portal. If you do not have access to your My Esri portal, please speak to your organization Esri account manager, as they will be able to help you with that. Number 2, ArcGIS Pro is a single desktop application. It takes the best functions of ArcMap, ArcCatalog, ArcGlobe, and ArcScene, combine them into a single Pro application. No longer the days of opening numerous applications just to do 2D, 3D, and manage data. ArcGIS Pro, one app to do them all. Number 3, ArcGIS Pro as a single desktop application supports both 2D and 3D workflow. You can see the same map in 2D and 3D side by side, making editing easier and with better insight. Of course, I will demo this to you shortly. Number 4, ArcGIS Pro is built so that you can work in context. ArcGIS Pro interface is so contextual that it gives you the tools you need when you need them. For example, if you click on a feature layer, the ArcGIS Pro interface will immediately display tools that are commonly used with vector data. If you click on a raster layer, it will show you the tools that usually use with raster data, and the same applies for other data such as LiDAR or standalone table. Basically, the days of turning on and off toolbars in ArcMap are no longer here. And of course, there are many more reasons why you should choose ArcGIS Pro. So now I will begin with my demonstration. Okay, when you launch ArcGIS Pro, you will see an interface similar to this. At a glance, ArcGIS Pro retains some of the characteristics of ArcMap, meaning that on the left you can see catalog. On the right you can see catalog. On the left you can see content, and on the top is the contextual interface that I mentioned earlier. So now, even if you're new to Pro, the first question that you're going to ask is, can I import data from ArcMap into ArcGIS Pro? Ladies and gentlemen, of course you can. Just like in ArcMap, first you need to create a folder connection in the catalog. And once the folder connection is there, look for the data and simply drag and drop the data onto your map. So another question that I get is, I have maps. I have maps with symbology. I have maps with label. Basically, if I drag data into Pro one by one, I have to do all of those symbologies, do all of those labels again. Can ArcGIS Pro just import my map documents from before? Ladies and gentlemen, yes, ArcGIS Pro can do that too. See how the symbology, the labels, and even the pop-ups get carried from ArcMap into ArcGIS Pro by just importing the map document. Okay, for my next demo will be on editing. Okay, this is a drone image that was recently taken of the City Wangsa area. So now let me add some footprints, building footprints to this map. Okay, since this footprints was done quite a while, and when we compare it with the new drone image, we can see that these footprints needs to be updated. So now let's try to update some of the footprints. I'll zoom into the building on the top right. So to edit with Pro, first of all, you just need to click on the layer, click on the edit, and choose the tool that you want to use. For this case, since I want to reshape this polygon, I'll just click on the reshape tool, and immediately just reshape this building. See that I no longer need to start or stop any editing session just to do any edits. Okay, another thing that's amazing with editing using Pro is that you can edit data from different folders, from different geodatabases simultaneously without actually going in and out of editing sessions as well. So now I'll add another data from a different geodatabase. Okay, these are building footprints of a nearby school. So I'll zoom into this new garage area. And digitize the garage easily, just as you did it in ArcMap. And once you finish your edit, just click on Save. See how editing is easier in Pro. Okay, now for my third demo, will be in 3D. Okay, this is a 3D representation of the KLCC Park. Using the mouse, I can easily navigate through the 3D scene. I can rotate, I can zoom in. But basically, if you're new to 3D, navigating to 3D can be very memeningkan, disorientating for those of you who are not familiar with it. So beginning with ArcGIS Pro version 2.0, Esri has introduced the on-screen navigation pane. Sorry. Okay, with this navigation pane, okay, with this navigation pane, you can easily walk through the buildings as if you're literally walking down the street. See how I'm using this navigation to walk through the streets. So another thing that you can do with ArcGIS Pro is basically, you can view two maps side by side at the same time. So here's another map of the KLCC Park, but in 2D. By simply clicking on this tab here and dragging on the side, I can put both two maps side by side. But the real magic is when you link them together. By linking these maps together, I can zoom in, and immediately the maps next to it follows to the map that I zoom in. Okay, this makes inspection of buildings or comparison of maps easier. Okay, another thing that has been introduced in ArcGIS Pro 2.0 is a dark theme. So basically, if you work in a dark environment, the white template of ArcGIS, or the white theme of ArcGIS Pro can be very eye-straining. So beginning on ArcGIS Pro 2.0, Esri has introduced a new theme where you can choose either a white theme or a dark theme. So basically, by using this dark theme, in a dark environment, it gives less stress to your eyes. So on the map, you can see a map of Terengganu State. It's color symbolized according to districts, and the polygons within each districts are the sub-districts. Okay, in ArcGIS Pro, data exploration is a lot easier. Using the data that is inside the attribute table, you can build charts to represent your data. Not only that, you can build more than one chart. But the real magic here starts when you link these charts together. So when I link this chart and I click on another chart, basically it immediately reflects back to the other chart. And also see how the color flows from the map to the charts so that you can easily identify which chart represents which symbology or district. So now that you have your map, now that you have your charts, it's time to build your layouts. In ArcGIS Pro, you can build layouts easily, something similar to this. And in ArcGIS Pro, you can not only build one layout, you can build more than one layout, 2 layouts. This is something that you can't have in ArcMap. This is something that you can only have in Pro. So this is a half-completed map. Let me add some items to this map to complete it. Okay. Here's my north arrow. And here's the chart that I just created earlier. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my demo part. So now, before I end my presentation, there are some points that I want you to take back and remember. Existing maps and data into ArcGIS Pro. You can easily do 2D and 3D at the same time in ArcGIS Pro. You can easily create informative maps and charts with ArcGIS Pro. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, don't wait, let's Pro. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fahmi. We have some time for a couple of questions. Does anyone have any questions for Fahmi?
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Rosdan from Department of Agriculture. I just want to ask, you said earlier that at the future time, ArcMap will discontinue, isn't it?
Yes.
So what is the last version of ArcMap? Right now it's 10.5. So is there any version of 10.6 or 10.5 is the last version? Thank you.
Okay, that's a very good question. Okay, as far as I've been informed, Esri is going to release ArcMap version 10.6, and afterwards it's going to be ArcGIS 10.6.1. I can't say whether Esri is going to release ArcGIS for desktop 10.7, but basically after 10.6.1 has been released, it will take about several years before it actually gets depreciated. So basically, you have time to actually do the migration from ArcMap to ArcGIS Pro without worry. Several years, yeah.